Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, of course, depending on when you're viewing us. Welcome to Around Town with Dave Walsh, and I'm your host, Dave Walsh. Our show covers the great events and happenings in the town of Stoughton and the folks who make those happenings happen. And today, I'm fortunate to have with me the Assistant Town Manager and Town Engineer, Mark Tisdale, to my left. And to the left of him is Craig Horsfall, the Assistant Engineer, and Nick Dufresne at the end, who's the Project Engineer. Hopefully, I didn't butcher anybody's name. I pronounced those correct?
Got it pretty good.
Right. Okay.
Congratulations. Not many people do that.
Yes. Okay, thank you for coming on. I usually like to start off my show with an introduction, your name, kind of your role in the town of Stoughton.
All right.
Be appreciated.
Very good. Yeah.
Let's start with
My name
you,
is Mark Tisdale. I'm the Assistant Town Manager and Town Engineer. My job is pretty much in charge of all the permitting departments in town. That would be the building department, engineering department, Board of Health, conservation, planning board, code enforcement, things like that. So
that's a big list.
Yeah, I'm in charge of all of that in Stoughton.
Thanks, Craig Horsfall. I'm the Assistant Town Engineer. Been working in Stoughton now for about 10 years. Pretty much Mark's right-hand man. All the items that come into the engineering department and the other departments within development services I get involved with. I also do a lot of the site plan review for the planning board or applications that come in for the Conservation Commission and so forth. So.
Great.
Nick Dufresne. I've been here in Stoughton just about 2 years, and I pretty much helped Craig with some of those reviews that he was just talking about, and then also the construction inspections. Anytime any projects going on in town, we go out, inspect them, report them, sewer tie-ins, and that sort of thing.
Okay. Thank you. And I think you guys brought in a list of projects going on in Stoughton, which looks like a pretty healthy list of items going on for the town of Stoughton. I wonder if you'd be willing to hit us up with some of the projects going on. I'd appreciate
Absolutely,
it.
Dave.
Great.
Thank you very much. I just would like to just start off, Dave. We got three engineers at the table here. We're generally not that funny. So we're not that funny, so this may be a boring presentation, but...
And a former engineer, so it could be all of us that are going to be that way, so that's fine.
I will start off with the first thing I'd like to talk about. It's kind of very impactful. It's big for all those permitting departments I was talking about, Dave, is that we're going live. We've already gone live with electronic permitting in our town,
great.
which is great.
That's been talked about.
The building department's online right now. We're working on Board of Health and fire departments online. And then the next phase will be conservation, planning board, and zoning board. And then after that will be licensing through the select board.
And how do they get to this? Is it from the main Stoughton website?
Yeah, you go right on the web page. There's a click for electronic permitting right on the front of the town of Stoughton web page.
Great.
And it goes there, and eventually, when this is all done, you'll actually be able to see all the applications that were submitted. The public can go right on and see it, so it's very transparent. To see every application. You can look at the forms and documents online, see what the status of the permit is, things of that nature.
And do you pay electronically?
Everybody pays electronically, yep. So it's capturing a lot more permits. Some people, at night, they used to not come in for the small permits and they would just do it. Now it's easy for the contractors to just do it from their house, so we're seeing more activity from a building permit standpoint.
Excellent, that's great.
So
On our list, the first one off is Park Street Sewer. That was a major sewer expansion that we've just completed, so that went officially live in July of '24. So we're allowing connections into that system. It involved 8,700 linear feet of gravity sewer and like 4,000 linear feet of force main, because it all flows down into the Campanelli Industrial Park, and then we need to pump it back up into Park Street. We're servicing 28 commercial properties and 45 residential properties.
Wow.
So it's a big benefit to those people that live down in that part of town. It was a long fought process to get it permitted.
I remember that as town meeting.
And it was a really successful project. We had a whole bunch of grant money that we got. It was a $6.6 million project. I think it was like
about $4 million in.
About $4 million in grants. So
Wow.
the total cost of the town was greatly reduced by that. So we were really happy with how that project moved along.
Yeah. And that's supposed to open up some development.
Economic development.
Right.
It's already has. There's one building that stayed in there, and they put an 80,000 square foot addition on their building right at the end of Schumann Avenue because sewer was in the
Which they
industrial
wouldn't have
park.
been able to do otherwise.
They would have left.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's good. And it's nice to know there's been residential properties that have been able to
Yes.
take advantage of it as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely. We've had several residential connections made already, and hope to get a whole lot more.
Good. Yeah. So I guess if they live in that area, do they know that's available to them?
They do, yeah. We sent out notice in July, so every property in the project area was notified that the system was live.
Okay.
There's a time frame from the sewer connection policy that you can avoid paying the I&I fees, which are infiltration and inflow fees that whenever we get a new connection into our sewer system, we charge a fee for that because it's flow that we have to maintain forever and ever. So we've set the connection policy so that there's a time frame that if a residential property connects within the first 3 years, they can avoid those I&I fees. And for commercial properties, that it's limited to a year to encourage a little quicker connection.
Right. Okay, that's good. Great. Okay. What do we have next on that?
Craig's got number 2 also.
Pine Pleasant Street?
No, actually, this one's Tosca Drive.
Oh, Tosca Drive.
Tosca Central and Canton Street intersection. So that project's a Mass DOT construction project, right? So that got onto the state's TIP program, so that's the Transportation Improvement Program. And the way that works is the town pays for the design and the right-of-way acquisition, and then the state foots the bill for the construction.
Okay.
We're happy to say that it's been under construction now for, 8 months or so. It's well ahead of schedule, moving along pretty quickly. Most of the utility poles, the new ones have been installed. This is usually the big hiccup where it takes a long time to get the lines off of the old poles and onto the new poles. But that's moving along a lot faster than we thought, and we hope that the project will be complete sometime in the summer of this year. So.
Yeah, that'll be good, because I know there's been some discussion about that intersection on traffic and people working through that. So.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the original configuration of that intersection had really strange alignment of the roads coming together and very awkward. So at some points, you're looking over your shoulder. You don't have good sight lines and things like that. So the road's getting realigned and kind of teeing up into Canton Street. So Canton getting teed up into Central Street. There'll be 2 sets of lights. So there's a set of lights at the top of Canton Street where it intersects with Central, and then another set of lights over at the intersection of Tosca Drive and Central Street. They'll be coordinated so that the traffic will be able to flow through both of them. Like on a green cycle, if you're coming up Canton Street, you get the green light, you'll have the green on Central to just continue through. You won't get trapped there.
Yeah, because that's kind of a crazy intersection.
We think it's a big improvement. The whole design took a little bit longer than would normally be encountered because of Pie Park, which we had to get the approval from the legislature to modify the limits of Pie Park. But we think we've improved it quite a bit, so making it more usable, more user-friendly. And then the project includes an extension of the shared use path that was installed on Central Street, so that's that really wide sidewalk.
Yep.
And that's going to get extended down to the end of the intersection of Canton Street.
Oh, I didn't know
across
that.
the frontage of Pie Park as well. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that'd be nice.
Yeah, it should be a really good improvement for the area.
Yeah, that intersection's always been.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tricky one.
Yeah, agreed.
I know that there's, right now we're under construction. It's a little dicey going through there now. There's a 3-way stop sign.
Yeah.
But it's a temporary situation, and I think it's been manageable, and we're really lucky to have a good contractor out there who's been really attentive to, what's going on over there and really keeping the project moving really quickly. So
That's good. That's encouraging. You're talking around June timeframe, is that?
hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
nice.
originally it was anticipated to be like a 3-year project, but they're well
Ahead of schedule.
I'd
like to hear that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And the next one, it looks like now I'm at Pine and Pleasant.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's mine. So one of the things in recent years that the engineering department has tried to address is what we in our department call Y intersections in town. So these are roads that don't meet at a perpendicular 90-degree angle. They kind of flare out.
Yeah.
Lots of pavement, kind of confusion for when drivers are approaching them. They don't know, where to stop or where the turning lanes are. So they're a big problem with those for accidents, pedestrian crossings, things like that. So we've really tried to address a bunch of those. One of those actually this past summer, was reconstructed. That was Weston Plain.
Okay.
So we reduced the pavement there, kind of narrowed the driving lanes, put the stop sign in a usable space where it was kind of really far back. Yeah, people didn't know where to stop. So it kind of moved that and reconfigured that intersection, like I said, for better pedestrian walking, narrowed the lanes, which helps with speeding. And then the other place we're looking to do that is Pine and Pleasant Street, over near the Cape and Reynolds House.
Yep.
So there's a plan that's already designed.
That's a tricky intersection.
Yes.
Because you can turn in both.
Right. So it's really going to kind of make that a little more concise, define the turning lanes, and hopefully help with traffic in that area. Sticking with the Cape and Reynolds area is the new dog park.
Yeah. Is that officially open? Or?
So it is officially open now.
Okay.
Obviously, it's during the winter, so we couldn't have a grand opening. But I think that's planned for when the nicer weather comes in the spring. But it is open to use. It's a park that has a section for small dogs and large dogs.
Great.
We also have community gardens that are going to be planted in the springtime. There's parking on Pleasant Street for 8 spaces, I believe it is. And then down on the other side on Pine Street, there's another 3 spaces with handicap access parking over there as well. So that's a really nice project that really came out nice.
Yeah. I know people have been excited for that to come. So
Yeah, it's going to be really
it's open.
really nice for the residents.
Yeah. Is there a 2-gate section to go in with the dog?
There is, yes. You actually kind of walk into a main area that splits off into 2 sections, large on the left, small dogs on the right.
Well, that's good. All right, so the dog can't run off. When you
Yeah, right. That would be bad.
Right, exactly. Oh, good. Thank you. Okay. What do we get?
All right, I guess I'm up next. Boy, time flies by when you're having fun, Dave. Already halfway done.
We're all engineers.
We got 3 more sheets to go through. I guess I'll keep it very brief, but the next important project, and it's very dynamic for the entire town, would be the Town Hall landscape and traffic project that we've marketed a lot. There's been surveys online, get people's feedback. We've had public forums and things of that nature. Essentially what we're doing with that is we're creating some sitting areas, some increased landscaping, a public plaza on the corner of Porter and Pearl Street with one of those message signs. But more importantly, we're actually going to be increasing traffic circulation around Town Hall, more public parking spaces. We're actually going to have about 10 more public parking spaces, which may not seem like a lot, but if you go to the front of Town Hall, there's not that many.
Right, exactly.
So we're like,
any improvement.
We're over doubling it, and in some of those parking spaces, if around the bend in the front, you can't park cars there. It's impossible. Even though they're striped, you can't get cars there. Yeah. But what we're also proud is it was an opportunity to look at the entire project, and since we're doing all this work, we were greatly able to improve accessibility around Town Hall, pedestrian access, walkways, ADA compliance, things like that for the outside. So that's going to be a huge impact for everybody.
Now, has a plan been settled on? Because I know there were a bunch of public input.
Yes, if you go to our website, there's a plan there. Even though we're leading the charge on it, we want this to be a town project. Mm-hmm. We want everybody's input. That's why we're getting the surveys and the feedback. We don't want to put a project forward that the town isn't happy about. We want everybody to be happy about this. This is our town hall property.
Right. So, especially the town hall, because that's
it's the most dynamic property in town, most visible. We want everybody to be proud of it.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
And then the next one we can talk about, if that's
Lincoln and Pleasant.
Yeah, if that's one you'd like to hear about, we can go to that one. Lincoln and Pleasant. There's been a lot of discussions.
That was on my list.
That's on your list, and that's a good one to go to. All right,
that's another country.
It's on everybody's list.
Yes,
let's be honest,
exactly,
right?
yeah.
So Lincoln and Pleasant. So just to recap, that's always been a bad intersection.
Yes.
A lot of high crash. It's a high crash intersection. So about 4 or 5 years ago, we took that in. People wanted something done there. So what we did is we installed a flashing dynamic beacon there. People may or may not know that.
Yes.
As you approach on Lincoln Street, correct me if I got the street names wrong, Lincoln Street, you got some special stop signs that coordinate with other dangerous intersection signs on each side of Pleasant Street that are up about 200 or 300 feet. So as cars approach to that intersection, the dangerous intersection signs flash with the idea that people coming down Pleasant Street will slow down. Okay. So those were working very well for a year or two, and actually crash data went down. Then there was some point in time where they stopped working. I think a stop sign got hit and something got messed up. And they weren't coordinating, and accidents went up. Mm-hmm. So now we've discussed with DPW, they've actually in the process of ordering new equipment there
Okay.
to fix the issue, and we're going to evaluate that over the next 6 months. And we've promised the select board we would go in front of them in 6 months to see the difference in if accidents went down or not. Now, if they stayed the same and didn't go down, then we need to do something else. And there's something else would probably be a four-way stop sign at first, with the understanding with a long-term plan to do a signalized intersection at that intersection.
Now, is one of those a state road that gets involved?
It's a state-numbered route. That's
Okay.
the misconception that people
Okay.
think because it's Route 139, it's a state road. It's just a state-numbered route. It's under our local control, which is good.
Oh, okay, that's great.
Because we
I didn't
can
know that.
we can do the project ourselves without going through a very lengthy state project permitting process.
It sounds like you have the data that these signs did work.
Yeah, we do have the data that they
Yeah.
worked, and then they went out for a year or two, and we don't have good data because they're out.
Yeah.
We thought they were working, but they're
You're
not.
seeing crash data go up, right? So.
Crash data went up, and now we're very close. We already got some of the new signs installed. We're waiting for a couple other signs to be installed, and everything's synced up. So crossing our fingers that the accidents go down.
Yeah.
And if they did, we'll keep it the same way. If not, we'll look for a four-way stop sign.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
That's always been a big one. Okay. And I see Canton School Street intersection. Is
Yeah,
that design underway, Greg?
I guess we're sticking with the high crash intersections.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. We're driving right along. Sorry. City engineers can't be
Couldn't help
funny.
it.
That was good. That was good. I like that.
Yeah, so this is another high crash area. I know it's been on our radar for a long time to get something done at this location. And I think at one point the town anticipated installing a signal on its own accord, but we've more recently gone back onto the state TIP program in order to get the state to pay for the construction costs. So that process is a bit lengthy, and to further complicate the design of this intersection, we have a set of railroad tracks that aren't far from that intersection, right? So the commuter rail is not far from that intersection. So if we put a light right at the intersection of Canton School, the queue, when you have a red light, would back up onto the track. So there needs to be a second light over at Cushing and School Street as well. So, and again, that would be a coordinated light so that we don't end up with people stuck on the tracks. That would be very bad.
Yeah.
So we have coordination with Mass DOT, coordination with the MBTA. We're in the process of doing that now. So the geometry of that intersection, even on the other side, we have Summer Street comes in at a really weird angle with School Street.
Yeah.
So there's some things we need to do
Dynamics
over
there.
on that side as well. It's actually a really complicated area to just put a light in.
Yeah.
And then there's a restaurant that's right on the corner there with a sidewalk right in front. So we don't have a lot of room to move things around, but we're doing our best to fit in, again, bike lanes where we can, get the proper ADA accessible ramps and so forth. So it's become a really interesting design, but it's moving forward, and it will get done.
Does the state help with the bike lane part? I mean, that's something that the state's been pushing to. Right?
Absolutely, yeah. So they push hard for that,
Right.
and they want to see that wherever we get involved with these TIP programs.
Yeah.
So those will be included. We can't really do a dedicated bike lane through this entire area. It's just no room. So
Yeah.
it'll do sharrows in lieu of bike lanes where we cannot provide them. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Right.
Until 138?
Yeah, is that one of the projects on your list?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
driving again.
All right, we'll keep on going. All right. And we turned around and we're going up School Street the other way. All right. So 138 project. This project took a lot of planning for a number of years. It goes from Lincoln Street, where the state highway layout starts, all the way past York Street. So
Yeah.
it's a huge project.
Big area.
The states took in the project. We were able to get the grant for it. It's about a $13.4 million grant.
Wow.
That the taxpayers don't have to pay for because we put some effort in to try to get the grant. And we got it, thank God. So construction's already started. Essentially what that will entail will be a signalized intersection at York Street, which I know a lot of people have been asking for
Yeah,
years.
that's a dangerous
It's a
one.
dangerous coming down the hill, and there'll be
yeah.
an advanced warning sign too that there's a red light down the hill because people do speed down there. The whole cross section will be rebuilt to be a standard 2-lane roadway with a buffered bike lane, so there'll be about a 3-foot stripe of striping that buffers the lane from the bike lane
Okay.
that you don't drive a bike in, and then you got your 5-foot bike lane on the right side of that, along with a new sidewalk.
Oh,
So
wow.
all that from curb to curb is getting rebuilt, utility poles getting moved over, things like that. So it'll take a couple years for that construction to be finished.
Yeah, I was going to be the question.
So some
It's gonna
people are
be a
going to
long
be
time, right?
upset with the construction
Interruption
delays and
of
things
the,
like that. But you got to think big on this one. At the end, it's going to be beautiful. It's gonna, and it's a lot of money the town doesn't have to spend to get that work done.
Right.
So
It's going to go through the center too? Or?
it starts at Lincoln Street.
Okay, Lincoln
Yeah.
and then up. Okay.
If you remember, that's a good question. If you remember a few years back, we did finish the whole center all the way
Right.
up to Summer Street. Summer Street, right? Like I always get Sumner
Sumner.
and Summer Street
Right.
upside Summer Street. And once this project's complete, the town's going to take from Monk Street all the way to Lincoln Street and do it ourselves. So
Yeah.
it'll finish that whole corridor,
Right.
which will be
That'll be
great.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right. And then want to hit up Park and Turnpike?
sure.
Yeah, sure.
Is that Craig?
Yeah, that one's me again. All right.
You get the challenging intersections. Mark did that well.
Yeah. I don't know how that happened.
Exactly.
All right. So yeah, Park and Turnpike Street. As you know, we started off with Park Street Sewer, where we are anticipating some growth down in that area. So Campanelli Industrial Park, although it's fully built out, we expect some higher and better uses in the park, right? So possibly some more intense users. So where you had a warehouse at one point might get converted to office space or manufacturing, which is a little bit more intense as far as traffic generation, right? So this intersection itself has a really funny angle of intersection, right?
Yeah.
So Turnpike Street comes down, it's at a skewed angle. Traffic has a heck of a time getting out of Turnpike Street, right? You've really got to look over your shoulder to see the oncoming traffic on Park Street. So we've known for a while now that we need to do something over there to signalize that or do something to improve that situation. So we're in the what they call the intersection control evaluation, the ICE stage with MassDOT. And we're going through that now. We, of course, are hoping that we end up with a signalized intersection, but through this process, MassDOT makes you look at all different types of improvements in this area. So one of the things that MassDOT is a big fan of these days are roundabouts, which is what you see up in front of IKEA, right? So they're really big proponents to install those in locations where you can.
Yeah.
And they, at this point, feel that this is a location that's worth evaluating a roundabout. So we're running the courses with that and see where we end up.
Yeah.
But they're looking in that direction now. That construction is estimated to be about $4 million. So going through those grants again,
Yeah.
if we do get that approved through the state, it's another $4 million of road work that the town gets by going through this process. So.
Definitely worthwhile. Okay. You go Walnut Street?
Yeah,
Best
can
Street,
update you on Walnut Street. The town may know by now, Dave, that we did a huge revamp of Walnut Street from about was it Pear Street down to the speed hump. Yeah, the double speed hump. So it was something that the residents in that area originally reached out to us, and they wanted something done, like a speed hump. So we installed a speed hump. We also have some bike lanes, and we restriped things, built a few new accessible ramps, and put some flashing beacons to get the kids across the street easier. All that's working out very well. It is certainly accomplishing the goal of slowing cars down. I mean, once in a while, you get a car that doesn't want to slow down and they lose a
Oil pan
muffler
or something.
Yeah, but
Which I think I've heard.
It has accomplished the goal, so we're going to keep on evaluating it because I think people want to see the results.
Yeah. And the flashing sign, I think, helps.
The flashing sign
Yeah.
helps, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. And then the square.
The square, we'll talk real quick. The square right now, it's been 5 or 6 years since we put new infrastructure in the square. As everybody knows, we have video technology, not where it's taking a video of the cars, it's just a video detection of cars when they show up. So a lot of intersections have loops in the pavement, and that detects when a car comes. This detects you when you come from the top down, video detection. We put that in. We also redid the square, curbing, all that about 5 or 6 years ago. So now we've had a few complaints from residents and certain stakeholders in the area that something seems to be off with timing on Pearl Street and coming up Route 27. So over time, sometimes things get whacked out and out of sync. So we have our traffic engineers going back into the square, and they're optimizing all the signals. That doesn't mean it's solving all our problems with traffic in the square, but it'll optimize traffic flow through the square. So they're working on that currently.
And you guys can all do that programming part of it, or do you have to?
We don't do it. We hire a consultant who's certified to actually do that.
Okay. So they go in and tweak the.
They can go right into that box and tweak the timings, and that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool stuff. I agree. Okay, and complete street plan underway.
Okay, so real quick, all these traffic projects we talked about that we've gotten accomplished or in the plan all came from our traffic priority plan that came from various documents like the master plan and different traffic priority plans. We've got a lot of them done in the 14 years since I've been here, thank God.
14 years?
I've been here for 14 years, but a lot of them are getting done now, thanks to Craig and Nick for taking the projects under their wing. So we're getting them done, and now it's time to redo our traffic priority plan, which now they call it complete streets because they roll things like bike lanes in it. Yeah. So there's a survey online. I urge everybody to go there, pick your spot where you think there's problems, and put your input in.
Excellent. And then that leaves us with the Bird Street Trails project.
Yeah, so quickly, I'll take you off the streets and into the woods.
There you go.
We got a grant from the state to improve our Bird Street Trail network. Basically adding some boardwalks, turnpiking, and basically those are just some methods to keep the trails dry. They tend to get wet out in the woods there, some low-lying areas. They're tough to pass through, in the springtime or the winter and fall when there's a lot of water. So kind of raised up those trails to make them accessible. And then we also put a parking area off the end of Bird Street. So we can fit I think we got about maybe 10 to 12 cars that we can fit over there to access the trails. So that was really good. And then just signage throughout the whole trail network to tell you where you are, and direct you where you are on the trails.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the gems in the town too.
Yeah,
Bird Street's always been a popular spot.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Is any other? This was quite a cool.
I think we'll save the last part for next time on the show.
Okay, great. I appreciate that.
We got through most of it, which I'm surprised. So.
We did fly through it, but I really appreciate you guys coming on, giving our viewers a understanding of all the great projects that are going on in Stoughton, which I think our viewers are definitely interested in. We can see it in the town happening. So I thank you folks for doing that.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys for coming over. And I thank you, the viewers, for watching and tuning into us. I'd also like to thank Anya, Luke, Caroline, and Chris for doing all the things that they do behind the scenes to keep this show rocking and rolling. And this is Dave Walsh wishing you all a great day. And until next time, see you around town.